All right, and welcome back to our fifth installment for the 26-day challenge. Draw one anime girl for every letter of the alphabet. And today, for letter E, I am going to be drawing Esther. So I already got a lot of the drawing and coloring done before I realized that I wasn't recording any footage for this one, unfortunately. And honestly, this one took quite a while, especially to color that background. So I do really regret that, not having the footage for that. But there you go, the background's already colored and we already have a lot of her base colors already put in. So I'm just going to be shading in this video. Like I said, painting and coloring and all that stuff, it's great and all, it's fun, but it's not really as exciting as actually drawing the line art and just figuring out how the form will sit and how it turns in 3D space. That's really what this whole project is about for me, and that's pretty much what I'm seeing a lot of people who are putting up their own art really don't have this kind of fundamental knowledge. And I mean, you can't get better at drawing if you're drawing crappy drawings in the first place. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm trying to figure out how to draw form in 3D space and do some more figure studies, because ever since I started doing figure studies as an actual practice and trying to figure out how all this stuff works in 3D space in the drawing phase, coloring just becomes so much more easy. And it's not about actually coloring the picture, it's about figuring it out beforehand in the drawing phase to get the right angles and the right lines down. Once you get the right lines down, you can, add and remove whatever you need around that fundamental framework. So yeah, like I'm doing here, I'm just doing like a 2D, like sometimes I would do actual shading to color this stuff in, but honestly I kind of like the contrastive shading with like sharp edges to the shadows, sharp edges to the highlights, rather than just using a feathered brush. I mean, for me that's not really, it takes skill, but I mean, there's more skill in reducing it to fundamental shapes and figuring out, as an artist, as an illustrator, particularly as an illustrator, it all comes down to reducing it to the actual shapes that convey the message much, because a lot of times lighting will do things in real life, and even like your form can do things in real life. That doesn't necessarily make it a good design. So as an illustrator, I'm practicing in reducing the forms to simple shapes, and I might even take this to an extreme form in the future and practice using abstract shapes to create images. But right now, the challenge that I have on my table is just to draw these girls as anime girls. So today we're doing Esther from the Bible. I know it's not technically a film, or it depends on your take of history, but yeah, this is kind of just a girl from legend. Growing up, this was one of the stories that I was told on a regular basis, and I did have a sort of crush on Esther, so there's that. But apart from that, practice the form, practice correct posture and correct drawing lines. You have to draw the right lines before you can actually shade the picture properly. Not only will your proportions be on point and actually look good, you'll avoid those gimpy looking drawings that you'll see on DeviantArt all the time, or even on Instagram. You can actually get really good form, and then you can figure it out. You can make your own form from there. You use a good reference, and many times photo reference doesn't do justice. Why? Because a lot of photo reference is just posed, and if you're using a pose that's a still shot for a dynamic pose that's like a kick or like some kind of jump or some kind of flip or whatever, you need the video reference, because in the video the person acting will actually be moving in the form of the pose rather than a lot. And I want to do this particular example in one of the upcoming videos where I was modeling a model after a kick, like a martial arts roundhouse kick, but because the photo reference wasn't even a real kick, she was just posing with her leg up. It looked like she was kicking, but when you actually get to drawing it, you realize that it was just a say cheese moment, and the whole balance of form and flow of angles and all that counterbalancing of limbs doesn't line up. It doesn't work. And so I'm going to be redoing that entirely. I haven't touched that drawing yet. That will be coming in the future, and I'll be talking quite frankly about what I think about using photo reference, especially for action shots. So you got to use video reference. You got to check it out against your own form, like figure it out. Sometimes you have to act the whole scene out and just kind of figure out, how does the force balance, counterbalance, how did these things, how do the limbs flow, and how do all these shapes and the shoulders work and the hips work, and the because proportions of limbs and all that will work, but you got to get the right angular representation of shoulders and all that. So I'm pretty much done here. From here, I'm just going to touch up a lot of the shading. This one's a short one because a lot of the footage just wasn't recording from the beginning, but I will just keep posting every day whatever I have, and I plan on having a whole lot more footage from the line art, from sketching up the line art, from referring to photo reference, which is the whole point of this project for me, and then taking it to the next level, upping my game, because I am doing this as not only figure studies but entirely as practicing drawing and all that stuff. So there you have it, Esther from the Haggadah, from the Bible, from the story of Purim. If you enjoyed this video, check back for more, because I'll be posting every day from now, and I am actually posting a challenge to do your own 26 girls for every letter of the alphabet. Your girls of your choice. Just choose whatever girls you want. I will link the details in the description, and you can post that art on Instagram. Just make sure you follow the rules. Alright guys, have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.